What's up guys, welcome back to another video here on my channel, and I'm gonna say something directly to you guys because most founders, they won't say this out loud and they think that social media is cringe, but they see the people dancing on TikTok, they see the fake entrepreneurs flexing their cars in Dubai, they see that they're exaggerating their lifestyle or posting motivational fluff, or they see the influencers talking about recycled 10 tips to get rich content, and they think, why would any serious business owner want to be a part of that? And honestly, you're not wrong. Because a lot of social media content is bad, but here's the mistake that most of you guys watching this are making. They confuse bad content with the platform itself, but that's like saying advertising is stupid because some of the ads out there are terrible. But the real problem isn't social media. The real problem is how most people are utilizing it for their benefit. Because when social media is used strategically, it becomes one of the most powerful business assets that you can build as an individual and as a business owner watching this. You see, when most founders think about social media, they imagine influencers, people chasing attention and people trying to go viral every single video that they're posting. But again, that is something that exists, but that's not the only way social media actually works. In fact, that's not even the most powerful way that you can use it in, because social media is simply a distribution channel, and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. It's a way to distribute ideas, the way of thinking, experience and insights at scale. If you think about it, 20 years ago, if you wanted to become recognized authority in your industry, you had to write books or get invited to conferences or appear in magazines or speak on stages. But today you can all of these things strictly and directly from your phone. And yet most founders watching this still associate social media with entertainment instead of what it actually is. It's the most powerful distribution platform ever created. And the difference between cringe content and powerful content is actually very simple. It's the intent that you create the content with. Because cringe content tries to capture attention and strategic content tries to transfer thinking. Cringe content is asking, how do I get views? But strategic content is asking, how do I communicate my perspective on the business that I have or on the world or on the things that I know as an individual? And cringe content actually performs, but strategic content explains. One is trying to entertain the algorithm and the other is trying to shape how people think about you and your business. And when founders use social media correctly, they don't become influencers, they become industry voices. People follow them not because they're entertaining, but because their thinking is so extremely valuable. And strategic social media for founders usually looks like this: explaining how you think about problems, sharing lessons from building the companies that you own, breaking down industry insights, the industry that you are in, talking about decisions you made within your business that actually allowed you to scale, and explaining mistakes and lessons that you have been through while growing your business. In other words, you're not performing, you're not documenting, but you're showing the process to the people out there. And you're showing the thinking behind the results that you have gotten as an individual. And something interesting happens when founders do this consistently, because the trust is compounding, the authority is compounding, and opportunities start appearing. Not because you went viral, but because the right people started paying attention. And if you look at many of the most successful founders today, you'll notice something, because they are very active online. Think about the owner of Gymshark, or think about Gary Vee, or think about Alex Hormozi. Not because they need validation, but because they understand the power of distribution on social media. They know something that most founders don't fully appreciate yet. And in today's world, attention is leverage. If people understand how you think, if they trust your perspective, if they repeatedly see your ideas, you become the default authority in your space. And that changes everything. It changes how easily you attract customers, it changes how easily you attract talent, it changes how easily you attract partnership, and how easily you launch new ventures. And there's a perfect example of this, because one of our clients, Ruben Onua, is the co-owner of Icon Amsterdam. Their company is doing over $30 million a year in revenue. So this isn't just a small online business or a simple e-commerce store. This is a serious brand. And when we started working together, Ruben's social media presence was relatively small. He only had around 40,000 followers, and over the next 2 years, his page grew to over 528,000 followers. But the interesting part isn't just the follower growth, the real impact came from the positioning. Instead of using social media to chase attention, Ruben used it to position himself as a thoughtful leader in the industry that he is operating in. He shared how he thinks about building brands, lessons from scaling an e-commerce company, insights about leadership and operations, the reality of building a serious business and what comes with it. And over time something happened, because his authority expanded far beyond his company. Doors started opening, partnerships started appearing, opportunities started multiplying, because when people repeatedly see your thinking, they start associating you with leadership in that space. place. And eventually this allowed Ruben to start a completely separate venture, a coaching company called Millionaire Commerce, where they have now helped scale their clients to over $100 million in combined revenue. Now think about that for a second. A founder building a $30 million e-commerce company used social media to expand his authority, which then opened the door to building an entirely new business. That's the leverage that strategic content has. Most founders look at social media and think, why would I waste time posting? But that's the wrong question. Because the real question is, what happens if I don't control my narrative online? Because whether you post or not, the market is still paying attention, competitors are still speaking, and ideas are still spreading. The only question is whether your voice is a part of that conversation. If you're not present, you're invisible, and in the attention economy that we currently live in, invisible businesses struggle to lead the market that they're currently in. So let's reframe this completely and rewire your brain into thinking that social media is not dancing videos, lifestyle flexing, and chasing virality. Social media is thought leadership distribution. It's a way to distribute your perspective, distribute your thinking, distribute your experience, and distribute your philosophy at scale. Immense scale is what I'm talking about. And when founders do this consistently, they stop being just businesses. They become industry voices that people want to listen to, and influence attracts attention. Attention creates the leverage, and leverage builds real big companies. We're entering a time where trust is everything, authority is everything, and credibility is everything. And the fastest way to build that today is through consistent, thoughtful communication online, utilizing the platforms like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Snapchat. People don't just buy products anymore, they buy people they trust, they buy founders they respect, and they buy ideas that they truly believe in as an individual. And social media is simply the fastest way to communicate those ideas that you have in your mind and the lessons that you have learned. So if you ever looked at social media and thought, damn, this feels cringe, you're probably reacting to bad content. Not the platform itself, because when founders use social media correctly, it's not cringe, it's strategy, it's distribution, and it's leverage. In a modern version of writing books and speaking on stage and building industry authority, but then way faster. And the founders who understand that early are the ones who shape the markets that we're in, not just participate in them. I'll see you in the next video. It was a short one, it was a valuable one, and I'll hopefully see you soon.